beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Zinhle, and in today's video I'm going to talk about how I did CTA level 1 and level 2 and passed at first attempt while doing my articles. So 2017 I did CTA level 1 at Tunisia, and at that time I was doing articles at a small firm in Johannesburg, Bedford View, and in 2018 I was in Cape Town in a medium-sized firm and I was doing level 2 of CTA. So prior to 2017, I had made a decision that I was going to do level 1 and level 2, and honestly I think I made that decision out of fear more than anything. I just felt like from the results, I was looking at the UNICEF pass rates and it was terrible, and I also felt that I wasn't very equipped to just be on level 2, because during my BCom I really never had time to study fully. I was winging it most of the time because I was always sick, but there was always something happening when I was doing BCom, something that just meant I couldn't actually study or engage as much as I should have with the content. So I made a decision to do CTA level 1 and level 2, and honestly I do not regret it. I do not. And I also decided to take classes at CTA at Edge Business School for CTA level 1. So I was actually going to the campuses. So when I took that option, I also had the option of doing online. So in that package, you could do online or you just go to the class. So I decided to take the option of in person because I would have access to the campus and I can use their campuses for studying as well. So for me, those were the things. I made a decision to do level 1 and level 2, and then took classes. And the next thing was to knowing exactly where I was actually going to study when I needed to. I'm not going to say I'm a very organized person, but when it comes to my space where I need to study or work, I need to know where I'm going to be doing that. It just helps me to be a little bit organized. So I decided that I was going to study mostly at the campus rather than at home. I still had my own table at home, but I preferred to be in campus because it sort of gave me like the groove, the motivation. I could see the other people studying and other people around me that I could actually ask questions if I had a question. So that was the third point. Fourth point, I was having a timetable. Now I had my own timetable beginning of the year, like in January, and then in February we started taking classes, so I needed to basically align my timetable to the classes. We had 4 classes a week. I was on the part-time program. We had 4 classes, I think 2 during the weekend, 2 over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. During the week it would be 3 hours. So what I used to do was do the 3 hours in campus, and then I would spend like 1 or 2 hours going through the content that we just covered and the examples. Sometimes I would do this in campus or drive home and do it at home, but I always prefer to do it in campus because, on my drive home, sometimes I could talk myself out of doing it, like, you know what, we're going to do it tomorrow. So I always prefer to just stay there and do it and then go home just to sleep. And then we would have the Saturday and Sunday classes. Those 2 were intense. They were so intense, guys. Like, imagine being in class from 8 in the morning until 5 p.m. We would have breaks like tea breaks and lunch breaks, but being there the whole day and you're literally sitting and listening to someone, it was too much. So I did that. I remember for test 1 I followed their plan, my timetable and Edge timetable, and I was going to the classes and I wrote the test. After test 1 I modified my timetable because I felt that I wasn't spending enough time by myself practicing. I was literally in class Saturday and Sunday, and that was the time where I could actually spend more time by myself practicing. So I remember test 2, I changed things a bit. I was like, I'm not going to do the whole 8 hours in class on Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to do it until lunch, and then the rest of the day I'll go and study. So I was sort of in between. Sometimes I would finish the class, sometimes I wouldn't. It would depend how I felt about that module and that day. But I always try to actually study after the class, literally every single Saturday and Sunday. Also, one of the two of the most important things that I feel like worked for me was having a positive mind throughout the year and being consistent. Positive mind, very important, because for me, I wasn't doing so well, especially CTA level 1 when I started. I would my I think test 1, I was like, my lowest mark was 30%, which was yeah, it was bad. And I think my highest was like 45. I didn't have anything above 50%. Now, coming from that, like, and pushing yourself that you need to, work, still continue working hard, and being positive that you're going to do better, like, was the highlight for me, because throughout the year, especially for management accounting in CTA level 1, it was terrible. Like, when I say terrible, guys, I would improve by 3%, 4%, and still, be positive that it's fine, you're gonna do better in the next test. And there was a time where I qualified for all the other 4 modules except for management accounting, and I was really banking on test 3 that I need to pass that. I need to do well in that test because I can't bank on test 4. Now, every time I need to be positive and push myself and be like, okay, you will do better, continue doing what you're doing. So positive mind and consistency. And for consistency, what pushed me really was that I was paying for this, and this was the first time I was paying for my studies, and it was around about 44,000 in total. UNISA, I think, was 22, and Edge was 22.44, and then on top I was paying for fuel to go to classes, for food that I used to buy, and I don't know, everything else in between. And it was a lot of money, and I couldn't lose that money, and I didn't have the time to redo it. So I really pushed for level 1. I did. Then level 2, I made a decision to move to Cape Town, and I joined a different firm. I moved in with my family, which I think was the best decision ever. It helped me, it allowed me to actually just focus on my studies and work, and not having to worry about house chores and making things that are okay at home. And also, I had a friend who used to take care of my car, which was very good. So I felt like I was well taken care of in Cape Town. Even the firm that I worked for at that time was very supportive. 2017, the firm I worked for was not supportive at all. But 2018, the firm I joined, it was so supportive in terms of studies. They would let us use their offices, and I never encountered a situation where I would tell a team that, hey, I'm studying, or I'm writing a test, so I can't work overtime, and they're like, no, you have to work all the time. They were always like open and like, okay, it's fine, do what you can. So I never worked like a lot of hours, really. I think the maximum overtime I did in 2018 was probably 2 hours, like a day for overtime, which was really good. So yeah, I was very supported 2018, which played a huge role. Also because I had a bursary for classes, and I also had a bursary at UNISA. That also gave me a lot of confidence in the sense that I was supported all around. So all I needed to do was just study and pass. Though it was a bit of pressure, honestly, because work, family, and then I've got these people paying for me. But it still pushed me to do better. So 2018 was better than 2017 for sure in terms of planning. I think also because I was now doing online classes, and I didn't have to drive to a campus or anything. I would study at work, which was closer to home. I still had to go to clients for work purposes, but that was not like a problem at all. At least when I came back, I went to office and I sat there and I started studying, and driving from office to home was like 10 minutes or even less. So that was good. That worked for me. 2018, I was more positive. I was very consistent. I very supported as well, and I was doing a lot better in terms of marks. I was actually passing my tests. When I say passing, guys, I think for the first time in CTA, I even had a mark once that I was above 70%. Like, I was doing really well. I didn't start off in the 30s. No, I started like above even 60. So it was really good. The only module that I wasn't doing well in 2018 was auditing, but it improved at some point. Also, I used to actually reflect on my studying or my pattern or my routine every single day when I drove home, and that helped me to know if I was doing better or if I could improve anyway. I would ask myself every day, do you think you did enough? Do you think you can improve anywhere else? And I always wanted to be in a position where I would say I did my best, this was my best, even though it was not all the time, but I really tried. And it was the reason I was doing that. I would think like at the end of the year I wanted to be at a position of saying that there's nothing extra I could have done, this was all that I could do. So I was very grateful when all my hard work paid off in both years. In terms of the number of hours, I don't know if I can say that there's this like specific number of hours I used to study, but I would say on average I'll probably do like 30 hours a week. Yes, I used to push a lot more on Saturday and Sunday, especially for level 2, because I didn't have 8-hour classes now, so I had a lot of time to actually spend on myself and doing questions. So I would push a lot of work on Saturday. Like Saturday, I know I used to do the whole day, but during the week I'll try and do about 4 to 5 hours. So because I was doing online in 2018, classes would be also like around about 3 hours, and then there would be homework, so I'd have to do those homeworks and then go home, which was good as well in terms of planning. Like there was a set plan in terms of this is the questions you're gonna do, and this is what you need to focus on, which was, I honestly think that I liked the approach from CA Campus more than the Edge campus, approach. Yeah, CA Campus was very, I don't know, it allowed more time for me to study. It also allowed the fact that I am working, so I'm not going to be able to spend the whole Saturday and Sunday in class and then go study, because where is the time really? That means I'm not going to sleep, and how am I going to work the next day? So yes, that's what I did. Also, I made friends, very good friends, who actually helped me in this whole journey. I think I would like to think we helped each other. Yes, and I'm so happy that all my friends actually qualified, which is really good. So yeah, that's what I did to pass CTA. Being positive, consistent, having a plan, and also I took classes. It doesn't mean that you have to take classes, because they can be very expensive. I know people who've done CTA without classes at all, so it's very doable without classes. I know people who've just done CTA level 2 and they're okay, they passed without classes too. So it's very doable without classes. I think you just need to be disciplined with your time and be consistent, be positive, and surely you will get it. And being someone who didn't do BCom straight from high school, I had like insecurities in terms of I felt like I wasn't good enough to do this thing. So I think that's what that kept me anxious throughout CTA, like that I didn't qualify straight away to do BCom, and I always felt like I needed to do extra work than other people. Like I need to work harder. If you are this level, I need to be at that level. So yeah, I think that helped me honestly, because I did actually pass, and I think because I really spent a lot of time like mastering the principles, though I still didn't get 80s. Guys, and I passed with the 50s. For ITC, I didn't have to spend a lot of time preparing. I did not at all. I'd be lying if I say I spent hours and hours. In fact, in December that year, 2018, I went home. I didn't even touch a book. Then I came back in January. That's when I started studying. I was doing the UJ program, yes, and I looked at the file. There was a lot of information that I need to do, and I felt like, no, this is too much. I literally picked questions. I picked few questions that I was gonna do, and that's what I did. And I didn't study like for hours and hours. Luckily, I was on leave that month, so in January, so I was just doing a couple of hours in the day and going home. And another thing that I just want to say, like, my firm was really supportive, guys, for CTA level 2 2018. So we had to actually qualify for the leave days, so you had to pass to get a certain mark to get days. I was doing so well that like I maxed the days. I maxed the leave days that I could get from my work, which was really nice. Yeah, so yeah, that's how I did CTA. I hope if you are doing CTA, I hope it's going well. If not, it's okay to actually modify your plan. It's okay to sit back and basically revise and change things if it's not working out. I think that's why I did the whole year. Like, every after test, I would look at my timetable, look how I did, and be like, okay, maybe we need to shift things around. So it's okay to do that. And it doesn't mean that if you didn't pass the last test, you're not gonna pass at the end of the year. You will. That's one thing I told myself, especially with management accounting in 2017, because it was terrible. And you know what, I just needed to get to qualify for the exam, and I was just gonna really push for the exam to pass, because the exam weighs more than the test mark. So if you push harder in the exam, you can still come back. So it's okay, it's really okay. If you are tired, take a day off. Do take a day off. And one advice I'm going to give as well is that please take care of yourself, of your body. Try and eat as healthy as you can. 2017, I was on fast foods. 2018, I really was trying to be on the healthy side of things. I even reduced the number of cup of coffees that I used to take. I think I did take some energy drinks here and there in 2018 as well, but it wasn't as much compared to 2017. So do take care of your body, rest, and have fun as well. You know, go out once in a while. 2017, after test 1, there was a point where I was just tired. I was like, I don't think I am going to be able to do this at all. It's just too much. It's taking a lot of my time. I can't see friends, I can't visit my aunt. It's just too much. I'm always tired. I want to sleep. This one particular weekend, after the test, okay, what happened is I wrote test 1, and when I came out of the test, I felt like I had wasted my time, my money, and I just was like, I was demotivated basically. And I was just tired. I was angry that I didn't go out throughout these 3 months. I didn't see friends. All I did was go to work, study, go to work, study, and I wrote that day, and it was terrible. And I felt like, what a waste of time. I was so demotivated that day. And my flagmate had invited me to a graduation party of her sister. So I was just like, and I didn't respond to it. I was like, I'm gonna think about it because CTA. And then when I came out of the test, I was like, I'm going to that graduation party. It was going to be in Free State, so meaning I have to drive from Joburg to Free State, or I was going to drive with her. I actually ditched CTA for that weekend. I went to Free State. I had so much fun. I was so tired. And came back Monday. I think it helped me, honestly, to actually take some time off CTA. Because I came back with a positive mindset that, you know what, we're gonna change things. I'm not giving up. I'm not gonna be defeated by just one test. There's 3 more tests to come, the exam to come. Surely I can still redeem myself from this. And I also believe that, honestly, going to that graduation party gave me some motivation. You know what, you're gonna get to it. Look at this girl that is graduating. It's gonna be you. That, like, it really helped me. But I think also what made me feel that way, like being angry and so forth, that my timetable, I didn't have like space to breathe. I didn't have breaks. It was just all about studying. So I started incorporating like days where, like, for example, Friday I wouldn't study in the evening, or and Sunday I would study until a certain time, then I'll go home. So I did that in 2018 as well, which helped me. I didn't feel like I was in a cage, I couldn't breathe, like I was suffocating, because it's just CTA. It was just CTA, but I mean, I still had time for myself, breaks, go do my hair. 2017 was hard, guys. But I started incorporating such things that, you need to set time to do certain things for yourself. So it's very important that you take care of yourself. So if you're doing CTA this year, keep pushing, and don't let test 2 marks defeat you. You still have 2 more tests and an exam coming up. And if you are preparing for CTA next year, get ready for it, because it shall end in CASA.